Welcome to the Golden Eagle Educational Network, where fifth grade voices take flight. We broadcast from Hardin Park School, bringing you stories, ideas, and discoveries from our amazing fifth grade. We will explore short stories, fascinating fiction, dive into facts, and explore topics that inspire us.
I studied fashion and dancing in 1920, and a fun fact is that when women got free rights, they expressed themselves with fashion like flappers, which is a kind of dress. And they would have fun like drinking and dancing. Flappers were new during this time. Also, women could get jobs, and women could vote around this time, which is because of the 19th Amendment. This all took place in 1920 or right before 1920. Their dancing was, well, fun or unique. Women learned they don't need a cook or clean, and they could be the moneymaker of the house. And one of the dance moves is a charlatan. And women would protest alongside fashion and dancing. Women would also celebrate the new freedom. Women's fashion today is way different because there are many, and I mean many styles, like cleancore, goth, or scene, and way more. I don't think anyone could count them all, and sadly, women's rights are declining right now. Women do not have the same rights as men. I find it sad that women have been wanting equal rights for over 100 years, and they still don't have as many rights as men. It makes me sad on how bad society is. I find it very messed up. Women would have a bald haircut, and like jazz music. They would dance called foxtrot and would wear pearls, necklaces, closed hats, and more. And they would like doing it. I got all this information from Google and an online library.
I'm pretty sure all of you guys have heard of slaves. Well, the Underground Railroad wasn't just for trains. It was also for enslaved people to escape and reach North Carolina. Well, kind of. But primarily Canada. But that's not all. Another reason it was easy to go through there was because it wasn't actually with tracks. So it was pretty easy to not get caught. But they didn't always go underground by themselves. Both black and white risked their lives to save enslaved people to escape and get some freedom. Abolitionist Isaac T. Hopper was a man that set up the network for enslaved people to run for freedom. Another person that played a really big role in the Underground Railroad was Harriet Tubman. She was the biggest conductor while leading the Underground Railroad, with figures such as Levi Coffin and William Still. The Underground Railroad was also a big influence in abolition slavery. You might think all of it is destroyed. Well, there is still some remaining. If you go to Roanoke River in Halifax County, you could still see the remaining part of the Underground Railroad. Even though it was built in 18th century, you might not know how to get to save slaves. Even Harriet Tubman wouldn't know. Well, the rails had secret direction codes. Approximately 100,000 people were freed from the Underground Railroads. You might also know about the Black Moses for Harriet Tubman's role in saving so many slaves. And here's a question you might want to know. Why did whites help blacks? Well, they hated what the southern states were doing just because of the Underground Railroads. Just because of how they look and not their personality. A lot of people that led the Underground Railroads for enslaved people were called Quakers. But it wasn't always easy because in 1850 they made the Fugitive Slave Act, which made it harder for the Quakers to lead enslaved people. You might think it was hundreds of thousands of trips before Harriet Tubman helped enslaved people. Well, surprisingly, she only went 13 times. Or that's what we know. But of course, kids also went through. The journey was really hard. But makes sense because they weren't really cooperating. But they didn't always just walk through the Underground Railroads. There were other ways, for example, rivers, canals, bays, the Atlantic coast, ferries, and rivers, and of course, roads and trails.
Hi everybody, today I'm going to be talking about Benjamin Franklin. What Benjamin is best known for? Benjamin Franklin is best known as a founding father of the United States, a Plymouthman, a printer, a publisher, author, inventor, scientist, and diplomat, known for his collaboration to the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and his scientific experiments. Why Ben is on the $100 bill. Benjamin Franklin is on the $100 bill because of his scientific contributions to America. History has a founding father inventor, scientist, diplomat, and writer resists American ideals of hard work and ignorance. Benjamin is known for discovering that lightning was electric. If you were wondering when Benjamin Franklin died at the age of 84, April 1779, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was born an Englishman and died an American. The cause of death was convulsion from pleurisy. Benjamin's last words were, "A dying man can do nothing easy." Ben owned 6 slaves. The earliest year Ben had slaves was from 1735 into 1781. Why Ben flew a kite in a storm? It was to investigate the nature of lightning and electricity, which were not yet understood. Combined with further experiments on the ground, the kite experiment started. The lightning and electricity were the result the same phenomenon.
A bunch of Americans all around the world play video games. Some video games Americans play for fun are Call of Duty, Fortnite, and Roblox. Roblox is a game where you can talk to people all around the world. Some facts about video games. The first ever video game was created in 1958. The most popular game genres are action, sports, adventure, and role-playing. Fortnite is a 13-plus game, but a lot of people under the age of 13 play it. Call of Duty is a very serious game. It is 18-plus. Roblox is a game that you can role-play and also play with other people all around the world. Roblox is a 12-plus game. Video games offer numerous benefits, including improved manual dexterity, enhanced social skills, and stress relief. In some video games, they have characters or skins, but people call them skins. In some games, you can buy skins or play the game a lot, and you can get a skin without spending money on the game. A bunch of video games are online, so you can talk to other people. You can make yourself mute, or you can go to your settings and put that you can't talk. In a game, can't talk. In the game, some video games you need a mic to talk, or some games you can't talk at all. Some age ratings are followed by kids and are not followed by kids that are under the age of to play the game. I don't care that much about people spending money on a skin. I just if you play the game too much and you like the game too much, you'll not listen to your parents, or you won't want to get off the game. If you play a game or look at the screen, your head might start hurting and headaches.
George Washington was born on February 2020 in 1732. The place he was born in was Westmoreland County. George Washington did not have a middle name, so his full name was George Washington. George Washington's best friend was Henry Knox. They became best friends in the Revolution. They have been friends for 25 years. George Washington was 43 when they became friends. George Washington's favorite color was green. His favorite food was hoe cakes. The softening effect of the hot butter and honey made the food much easier for Washington to chew. His first job was a savior. He got his first job at the age 16. He had 9 siblings, 3 brothers, 2 sisters, 3.5 brothers, and 1.5 sister. He became president on April 30th, 1783. He was 57 years old when he became president. He lived in a mansion 10 times the size of a regular house. George Washington's wife was named Martha Washington. George Washington had no children, but him and Martha took good care of 2 of Martha's kids from a previous marriage, and also 4 grandchildren. George Washington was 8 months older than his wife. George Washington did not live in the White House because it was not built in the period of time. It was built in 1782. George Washington died in December 14, 1799. He was buried in Mount Vernon. George Washington was fearless in battle. George Washington never attended college. George Washington was a hero to many other people. For example, James Butcherman. George Washington was considered fearless in battle because he was strong. And kind. George Washington was James Butcherman's hero because James Butcherman saw that George Washington was strong and fearless and respectful to many other people. George Washington was the first president in the USA. George Washington's favorite hobby was horseback riding and fox hunting. George Washington was the only president to be unelected, receiving the votes of all states representing twice. That is all I know about him. Thank you for listening.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Golden Eagle Educational Network. Thanks for tuning in and supporting us as we continue empowering 5th grade voices. We hope you enjoyed the stories, learned something new, and felt inspired by what we shared. Don't forget to join us next time as we dive into more exciting topics and ideas. Until then, stay curious, stay kind, and keep making a difference.